Hi, I'm Rodney Hawkins Jr., co-creator, and I play the character Dion Harrison in Transplants.
And I'm Alscott Worrell, co-creator, and I play Chad Cohen.
And I am Isaiah Joseph, and I play Corey Watson.
Gia, who the fuck is Gia?
You tell me. You tell me, Chad.
I mean, from what I saw, it was given like hookup, but he was also so sweet. He was so gentle.
Give him a Jack date. A nice man.
It was a little more than
Date.
that.
Like they have a rapport. They know each other a little bit. You know what I mean? He offered to help you with the rent.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
And you should listen to Dion.
No, because Chad, unlike Dion, I feel like Dion, because of his history with his family, is used to like depending on people. And Chad does not have that, which he clearly states in episode 1, like, I wish my family was like yours. Like, they make sure they take care of you. Like, Chad doesn't have that, so he's used to doing things on his own. And I feel like that's a moment where he was offered something from some nigga that's not really his. So, like, for me, as just me, maybe that's an issue I have, but I would feel like someone would hold that over my head if we're not in a space like that, and so I would say no as well. Actually, in real life, would I say no?
Exactly.
I probably would say yes and then just
Take that
pay
money.
it.
Take that money.
Hold
Don't
over
let
my
it make
head.
you.
Picture it. 1920 Harlem, the birthplace of rent parties. It was a social occasion where tenants hired musicians and charged admission to pay their rent. It was their temporary...
Episode 3, just in general, felt really, really good just to examine a little bit of Black history and figure out or talk more about like these things that I feel like today would be taboo. Like if you had a rent party today, the girls would probably read you.
Oh, they're gonna read you.
Yeah, but there's so much power in like that community, and so I really wanted to highlight that, especially when we're in a time that's similar to then, which was the early 1900s, and then we see episode 1 where we see Marvin Gaye playing over these shots, and it's like the same things keep happening over and over again. So like, when are we gonna realize that community is the only thing that really ties us together?
I think community is just important, especially for everyone that's up and coming and trying to create. I mean, that's what Alchemist is about. We want to create community and have people find their tribes. So why do you think Dion decided to say yes to the rent party, even though his rent is paid and he doesn't have to do it if he doesn't want to? He don't want the gays in his house fucking up his shit.
Well, he initially said yes. The thing that's interesting about Dion is Dion has ulterior motives. Like, when we see Dion in episode 1, when he says yes, a lot of it has nothing to do with Chad begging him and creating this presentation and all these things that he does. A lot of it has to do with the fact that he just got cut off. And instead of saying that, because he doesn't tell Chad, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go into business with you. But it's really because it's what he needs. And I feel like the rent party was the same thing. Like, at the time when he said yes the first time, he needed the money. Then when he didn't need the money, it's just kind of like, well, girl, I don't want to let you down. I don't want you really digging deeper. So it's just kind of like, yeah, I also feel like Dion's a bit of a people pleaser.
I got you for the next 3 months.
$6,000.
It's nothing. But Corey owns his own pest control situation. So if you got rats, roaches, call me. That's how I can afford to, pay rent for whoever I want to pay for. It's nothing.
Seems like he's unsure about Dion. So like, why pay rent for someone that you're unsure about?
So I think that as a deal, man, it's a struggle internally. You're battling. You meet somebody, you meet a man, and you care for them. You have feelings for them. You can even fall in love with them, but you're still struggling with your own hatred towards being gay or just your fear of being gay and coming out. And so I think that's the struggle. Like, of course, you can't ignore your feelings because they're there. So it just is what it is. You just kind of got to Corey's just trying to figure out how to navigate things. You know what I mean?
So when it comes to Corey being invited to this rent party, what do you think was his intentions in coming?
I think Corey has feelings for Dion, and I paid your rent, so I should be able to go wherever the fuck I want at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to the party. I'm supporting you. Yeah. I'm supporting you. But I also just want to see what's going on, who your friends, you know what I mean? Like what type of people you be having around. So I just feel like I'm just coming as support,
Is he? Because the minute he came in, he was looking at the brunette.
Hey, but I didn't know who was going to be there. So, as a DL man, you can't expect me to come into a room and, like, follow a man around. Like, I'm gonna come in.
That's
I'm
true.
See the girls, I'm gonna go sit
However,
next to them.
Comma,
I'm
you
gonna
didn't
flirt
ask
with the girls. You know
if
what I'm
I
saying?
needed
Like,
help. Like, if you could have been supportive, you could be like, hey, do you need help with anything? You need me to get, like, you know. You
wait. Did I not just cash up you $7,000?
Who told you about the party?
Dion. And don't be
How did you feel about your best friend inviting him to your party without you knowing?
at this point, I'm starting to feel like Dion invited Trevante for him. Because if you really watch the scene, there's a moment where you don't see either one of them. So what's really happening? What's really going on, right?
You got me. God damn.
You pay him up for rent, and then they invite me.
Exactly. Like,
that's
why
why
would
Corey came to the party, because I'm like, I don't trust this now.
I just don't understand why he would invite him. Like, honestly, if you're my best friend and you know that I've expressed that this is someone that I don't want to complicate things with, and you already basically forced me into having this party with him because, bitch, I'm broke. I don't have any money or any food. Like, you're offering to give me a free meal, and then you're basically telling me I have to invite him in order to receive said meal because it's a double date. Because if I had just showed up with me, first off, I wouldn't have done it had I known that Corey was going to be there because I don't like Corey's ass. I don't trust him
What's the
further than I can throw the motherfucker.
Why don't you trust Corey?
Corey's DL, and what's there to trust about a man? I mean, being honest, like, what's there to trust about a man that can't live his life for him?
You know, I do think, like, after a certain age, DL men, it's kind of like, bro, like, you don't live with your mom, no one cares, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, like, most people think you're gay.
So I feel like he invited Trevante to help Chad. Trevante has money. You know, he's like, maybe he, you know, you get your rent paid too.
Right.
You know, Dion, he lives in this delusional atmosphere, so he's probably thinking like, this person can really help my best friend.
I feel like if he genuinely was inviting him for that reason, then it would have translated, and I don't feel like that was the case. Like, if you really wanted him to support you, you can be like, hey, Trevante, like,
Right.
I know you probably don't want to come after what happened, but, you know, you think you can donate some money to his fund or something? Something like that would have felt better than inviting him and not telling me, or even inviting him and then telling me. But for me to find out when he walks in, when I'm, like, in a space of, like, not being sure about everything, just felt very, like, chaotic.
Okay, Dion was meddling. Okay.
I think that, yeah.
Maybe he just needs to chill out.
So how you been? Because I ain't seen you in 8 years, 3 months.
Let's talk about Brandon.
I love this scene, by the way.
That scene did kind of show who you were, because it shows how he impinges you, basically. That you might have, like, for instance, the other guys, you're more in control. Like, you know, the guy offer you money, you like, actually, I want this. And then Trevante's just a nervous wreck and just goofy as hell. And you're just like, whatever. But in the situation with Brandon, he was more like, you know, he had you like stuck. You know what I mean?
It translated well, and I really enjoyed the chemistry. A little like hand touch, like we got so much background information about their story. I mean, without knowing everything, like we still don't know the scope of their relationship, but we do know that there was something there, and we can feel the chemistry, so we know it was something romantic. But it's like, what happened? Why aren't they together? Why, like...
And we got to see Chad in a vulnerable state, which I really enjoyed, because even when he lost his job, I mean, you were mad, but I don't know if you were vulnerable, even when you were telling me, but this, like, we see you with no control.
I was gonna say, what do you think would have happened if y'all little moment wasn't interrupted?
I don't know. I feel like the way that it played out would have been the same.
Would you
Go ahead.
have kissed him in the party with 2 other pieces there?
I think I would have. I think it was like
Toxic.
so there, like.
This was dumb.
I mean, isn't that toxic? Because like none of these men are mine.
Right.
Like Gio is my jump off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Gio better
Not
be
in front of
saying
Trevante. I didn't invite.
I mean, but you invited Trevante, not me.
See? Y'all hear this? Y'all hear
Like,
Chad?
that wasn't something that I did. So
They
am
love
I
to
supposed
do
to
it.
like?
Nah, it's your fault, Trevante.
Yeah, now it's my...
It's definitely your fault, bitch. You invited him. I didn't invite him. I invited the strangers next door, and not him.
Do you think Corey was in the wrong for flirting with that brunette?
Hell no. Okay? And this
Can
is
I
why.
get it
No, you can't, because I already know what you're trying to ask. And no, Corey was not in the wrong. If you're going to date a DL man and invite him to a party where there are going to be women at, like, you're putting him in a position, I feel like, you know, to be fighting and battling internally, like, oh, it's women here. I have to play this part of this straight man and da-da-da. And, you know, when you are a person who has a handsome face like Corey does, women just talk to you. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna flirt back. You're gonna flirt back. And I feel like Dion should understand that. Like, he should be like, I'm not trying to smash them. I'm not trying to get their number. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you overreacted. If
Corey triggers Dion. Why would, like, we're at my party. This is embarrassing. Like,
No one
just like
knows.
you embarrassed me in episode 2. I'm trying to, like, paint this picture and you watching Big Booty Hoes.
no one here knows that me and you together except for your friend.
Doesn't matter.
So how are you embarrassed by who?
I'm embarrassed because he embarrassed me. Chad literally says he's flirting with everybody with coochie lips. So
That's
look
because
around
Chad.
and you just
See, you and
chat.
Chad. That's you and Chad beefing with each other because you invited Trevante. So Chad like, oh yeah, you better get your man. You better get your man. He over there.
Is it a retaliation? But he was flirting with the brunette.
But he made it deeper than it was. You know what
Did
I'm saying?
I?
He did.
Wow.
He did,
So
he did.
as you can see, that he's very manipulative. Like, you see that? The gaslighting that's occurring? That's
And
why.
you like to call people derogatory names. So why would Corey say that?
I wouldn't say I like calling people derogatory names. Honestly, I think Corey, he has some self-hatred, you know what I mean? And I feel that not only was I calling you that word to put distance between us, because I just was upset with you and I just wanted to hurt your feelings, but I also think it was just a self-reflection, like you're a reflection of me, and I feel like I was talking to myself in a sense about this whole situation, like why am I even here? Like why am I getting grabbed up by a man? Like what am I doing? So how did you feel when Corey called you that word? What did that make you feel?
In that moment, we're gonna keep going back. I'm embarrassed, but also very angry because it's like, all right, we get in our arguments. Even the last time we call him "fuck you, nigga," "fuck this," but then it's like, really gonna call me an F word? Like, I think that was low.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, for one, and you can see in the episode, I was surprised first, and then I'm just started to think about it like, I'm angry, and then I lay down and it's just like, this really sucks. Like, I'm losing my man. That's how I felt.
Thank you for tuning in to the After Show for episode 3. Again, my name is Alscott Worrell, co-creator, and Chad Cohen on Transplants. Thank you for watching.